when we're ready, we'll get started.
Do you want to do the minutes first and then?
Yes, well, that's what I was doing. All right, everyone, I call the meeting of Public Safety Committee to order at the time 11:30 on July 21st, 2026. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Legislator Ryan?
Here.
Knapp?
Here.
Here. Karen?
Here.
Here. All right, our first order of business is the approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Are there any objections to the previous minutes? All right, seeing none, the minutes are approved. Okay, so of our order of business, we have the agenda. It was structured, but we're going to make a change. At the request of Madam Chair, we're going to let you go first. I believe you said that you wanted to.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Make sure this is on.
And this is going to be a discussion regarding the proposed ADA committee, countywide accessibility standards and oversight. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So, as has been mentioned by our clerk a couple of meetings ago, there are some new standards that are being put in place regarding accessibility when it comes to meeting minutes, digital literacy, et cetera, across the county in our meetings and otherwise. And we have been talking internally a lot about accessibility at the county and where we're strong, where we have some opportunity, and reviewing all of the outside boards and commissions as well that we're responsible to appoint people to. And there is one that has been allowed to fall defunct for quite a few years now that was previously called the Council for the Disabled. And we are looking to essentially reactivate that committee by a new name in the nomenclature that is appropriate in today's day and time to ensure that we have a council that is advising us on the entire county regarding accessibility of all kinds. So this could be physical accessibility for individuals who have wheelchairs or otherwise. It can be the deaf, the blind, folks who have developmental delays. There's all different folks that are impacted by accessibility and the need for accessibility, and we want to make sure that the county is doing our level best to make sure that those services are being provided in the way that they should. So we're looking to set this committee up in this next session, and so I wanted to just come to the committees because accessibility is across the board in all the different committees, and as we're finalizing the structure of that, wanted to see if there was any input, insights, or thoughts that you have in regards to public safety and accessibility that we need to be mindful of in putting this together.
Personally, I can't think of anything myself. I think we're doing a very good job over the years. It seems everybody's been proactive considering anything that is needed, but of course, as technology changes and other things, so anyone has, Legislator Knapp?
Yeah. I don't think that Onondaga County has adopted this, but I've seen several other counties with the, I think it's the blue envelope or for folks that during a traffic stop.
Excuse me, Legislator Knapp?
I'm sorry.
The clerk just asked if you can turn your microphone on.
I thought it was on.
Yeah, me too. I thought mine was on also. It seems a little low. Yeah. It seems kind of low. You might want to turn the volume up.
Okay. I just have to reset it.
There you go.
So anyway, a number of counties have instituted a blue card, I think, or something like that, that designates that the person may have some form of autism or something like that,
Yes.
during a traffic stop, so that the officer knows that, if the person's a little quirky or something like that.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I think that should definitely be something we think about. I don't think we've adopted it. I know a lot of counties have.
I would like to plus that. They have not, because I know Southwood Fire, there's a member there who's been working like fire department and police world in this already. So.
And that's a great idea because recently in the news, even nationally, they've had a couple incidents where somebody either autistic or handicapped in some way, shape, or form, if they had something visible, like right on the dash or something, as the law enforcement officer or somebody's walking up, then that would really help. Yeah, that's a great idea.
So it's a little bit different situation.
Well, if you want to propose that, Legislator Knapp, just let us know.
Sure.
Okay.
No,
Great.
absolutely. I think that's something we have to talk with the sheriff and
Absolutely.
coordinate. But I think it'd be a great idea.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's something we have to do or he can do on his own, or I don't know I don't know the logistics of it, but that's something we could easily find out.
Great.
Now, this isn't public safety, but when we're talking about accessibility, especially, non-hearing, can we anticipate maybe having, a translator at our legislative meetings or hearings? Chad's a funeral director like me. I know on sometimes with our wakes and other things, we have to have somebody there, translating. So is that something
Yes,
that we
absolutely.
might see?
So some of the things that right now we're required upon request to provide translation access, but the process for that is not necessarily clear for people, and so those are some of the things we're hoping that this council could advise on for Braille access, for all these kind of, and there's also other accessibility for languages that are maybe not even disability related as well, that we want to continue to improve access overall.
Legislator.
Chairwoman, can I ask what the makeup of the original committee was, or how that was decided?
So the previous committee, it's been defunct for, since 99. So it's been quite some time. So, and partially because of the language and just since 99, there's been a lot of changes in this particular field. So we've had one of our interns doing a deep dive on research in regards to language, the things we should be considering, et cetera, so that when we rewrite this, we're writing it in the most up-to-date kind of standards and expectations. We also happen to have an in-house expert here sitting next to me as well.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions, anything they'd like to ask? John?
Great, thank you all. If you come up with anything else, please let Legislator Blackett know.
Okay. Well, thank you. Before we move on, I just want to take the opportunity to welcome, I believe, we always like to thank our young people. I believe we have a group of interns, or Job Corps? Where are you from? Oh, thank you. CNY Works. Well, thank you. We appreciate you coming in, engaging in civic experience. So marvelous. So moving right along, we have presenter Benjamin Winkler. Benjamin is a lieutenant in EMT with the Solvay Volunteer Fire Department, and they are working on a water rescue project, and we are happy to have you. So turning it over to you, Ben.
All right, so I'm actually printing out the exact same slides, so I can hand these out to you guys.
Yeah, hand them all to me. I just pass them right around. Just give
I think I
them.
got enough for
You got it?
everybody.
Yeah. And one for you.
Is it best to sit down? Stand?
You could,
You can sit down, whatever makes you comfortable. We're just going to turn on our microphones.
Okay.
Yep. Slide a little bit closer and speak into it so we can make sure we can hear you.
Testing, testing. Okay.
Marvelous.
All right. So good morning, everybody. First, I want to thank every one of you for allowing me to present for you guys, kind of talk about what we're looking to do here and looking for what our goal is. This photo, I was kind of chuckling driving here, right? All the signs on the 690 corridor are kind of showing tonight that there's a big event at the amphitheater. So I was just kind of laughing to myself when we were talking a little bit about it. Roughly 75,000 people can be at the amphitheater at one time, excluding employees and things like that. So this photo really gives a good picture of what's really going on in the Solvay Fire District at the time of an event.
Sometimes you have to point it wherever the control.
It would help if you turn it on, right? So give you a brief backstory on Onondaga Lake. I love this photo, big history buff. That's actually chemical production is what they're going on there. And as many of you know, that chemtrade is what polluted the lake. At one point, it was the most polluted lake in the nation. It's actually the Erie Canal. They took all of their waste product and whatnot that they had from the processing and just dumped it in the lake. Guys from the department talk about when they were growing up, they could actually go down to the lake at the time and see how polluted it was. They would see different colors, different dyes, and things like that in the lake. Since then, roughly 2000 to 2017 is when they decided, hey, we got to clean it up, we'll recap it, and kind of rejuvenate what we have here. It's a great piece of property that we have, Great Lake. So they went through, cleaned it all up, and since 2017, I think COVID kind of helped as well, really amped up the activity that's going on as well. So this is just kind of talking about what we do, what we are. We're the Solvay Volunteer Fire Department. I'm 100% volunteer. We do anything from roughly 16 to 1,800 calls a year. It seems like every year those calls are increasing. Our calls specifically on the lake since 2017 have escalated 500%.
Wow.
Just to give a little bit of a number for what we're going for on the lake. We had 2 calls yesterday alone on the lake. It's just become so populated. Unfortunately, we've kind of set ourselves so we're. Gotcha. Sorry.
It's not, it's our
It's
system.
our system. We're working on it. It's been a whole year of this. There you go.
Is that better? Yeah. All right. So we're the Solvay Fire Department, volunteer fire department. As I was talking, our calls have increased roughly 500% on the lake alone. We do EMS as well, rescue, hazard, and we've really, since 2017, implemented a marine side of things to kind of combat the lake of what's going on there. So to give you a little bit of a breakdown, that's basically our coverage. That is our coverage line. So there's 4 agencies total on the lake that cover the majority. Liverpool has the largest section of the lake, roughly 7 to 8 miles. Ours is the second largest coverage area, which is roughly 3 to 4 miles. And you can kind of see where that is on the map, kind of see where the state fairgrounds are. That's roughly where we are. The amphitheater, you can kind of see the orange lot where the parking lot is. So that's all of our coverage. And unfortunately, the way it's set up, it's very hard to get to. It's very remote on that far side where the amphitheater is. So it makes it difficult responding to calls and things like that without having a boat, especially during concert season. Like tonight, you'll see how busy the traffic is. It makes it really tough, but we have a really good access point since they've built the dock in the launch. It gives us a really good spot to respond to and operate from there. So again, since 2017, we've really strived to train and educate our members, specifically in water-related incidents. I'm proud to say that we have a ton of career firefighters on our department that allows us to kind of ramp up our training, and it sets us aside from everybody else to really be able to properly respond and properly take care of the call at cost. So we do have multiple Swiftwater technicians, and that's the highest trained water certification. And again, we have over a dozen that have been really dedicating to that training. So again, this is kind of the shoreline where it's really difficult for us to get to without having a boat. This is actually in the backside of the amphitheater. They've just installed these docks a few years ago. So what this allows is pedestrians to come in via boat and actually go to a concert. So they simply dock and walk up to the amphitheater, enjoy the concert, go back down and take off on their boat and go to wherever they want to go. So during concerts and even off-season, it really shows how much boating activity has increased with that. Couple more photos. So that photo is more of the docks. Again, I can't even describe how populated it becomes. I mean, that's just packed. I would be surprised if they don't add more docks with how busy it's been.
Is it free, or is there a charge for that right now?
As far as I know, I believe it's free.
That's what I was, okay. All
Yep.
right, okay. I'm just making a list of questions I was going to ask. Okay, thanks.
And then that second photo below kind of shows where we really operate out of. That's the boat launch, the visitor center to the left. They've kind of created like a little boat wash as well. And then there's also a dock. It's kind of hard to see off the tip of the visitor center. And we get a ton of kayakers, a ton of sailboaters, just a various different activity. It's kind of an aerial view. It gives it a little bit better view of what we're working with and where we're responding to as well. And then this lower photo is actually pretty new within the recent 2 to 3 years. It's kind of on the farther end of our district towards the city. And they've implemented some more docks as well, and then they've put on kind of like a fishing pier is what they call it. So we get a ton of fishermen stuff like that that comes in and actually enjoy that area.
Who's installed those? Is that something that you've done, or is the county?
Nope, so this has been the county, yeah. The county has really installed the docks. It's been, I think, a group effort. So the emergencies that we prepare for, these are actually real-life incidents that we've had. That's actually at the dock. That was 2 years ago. Someone forgot to put their vehicle in park and went for a little ride. So we actually responded to that and kind of helped mitigate that problem. But again, we've really ramped up our training and what we're responding to as far as water incidents. You kind of see the last two were really struggling based on our response area. You know, if a boat ever were to catch fire on that side of the dock, obviously we wouldn't have a very good way to responding without having this boat. Missing person, knock on wood, we haven't had this yet in the last couple of years. This boat that we're talking about is actually going to have sonar on it, so it's going to be able to help locate and find missing people as fast as possible, as well as FLIR, which is like an infrared heat sensor, so if someone's standing on shore, we're able to kind of pick them out of the area. Just a couple more incidents that we've responded to on the lake. I don't know if anyone remembers last year that the vehicle that went into the lake on the Liverpool side, the dump truck, and then we actually had one drive off of that. The Jeep, it was actually a van that drove from 690 into Onondaga Lake on our side. You can kind of see the docks over in the corner. And then a sailboat, we had someone flip over, actually get tangled up. So we had to go actually cut them from the rope and remove them from that area. So it's really grown. So obviously we've talked about training, right? We've really built up our training. We bought some specialized equipment that we can kind of mitigate some basic stuff. But again, this plan is really setting us up for success of what we can do and what our capabilities are giving us. Specifically, we're going to purchase a dock and a lift. The biggest thing is long term. We would like to have this boat on the lake 24/7, 365 days a year. Partnership that we kind of work with. Again, obviously we're not the only department that covers the lake. A couple of different agencies that we work with. This will really set us up and working with them and allowing them to work with us as well.
Who has boats on the lake?
So right now, the city has a boat, and Liverpool actually just took delivery of a boat as well. So right now, there's two that we know of.
But they used to keep theirs right down there at Lake Park Marina, right, with the sheriff's boat there?
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
I did boat patrol for 4 years, so. And then Seneca River up on the other side of the outlet.
Yeah, they're way on the other
Is
side.
everybody still on automatic mutual aid?
So it's kind of unique with the lake because, again, Liverpool hasn't had a boat. We haven't had a boat, so it makes it really tough as to what we're dealing with.
Because the way it works is you get shore-to-shore jurisdiction. So like,
Yeah.
even the sheriffs could go to Sylvan, Onondaga County, go to Sylvan Beach, so shore-to-shore jurisdiction. Because of the lack of resources, mutual aid is almost required for everything.
Right, which mutual aid is great, right? We would love working with mutual aid. It sets us back a little bit because Liverpool, again, they have to respond to the marina as well,
They
and
didn't
then
have a boat for you.
and then come to our side of the lake, which upwards of 30 minutes that we've waited for them before. So we're just standing on shore, twiddling our thumbs, waiting. So
Well, that answers the question I was going to ask about jurisdictional responsibilities, because I saw the map and things like that, so, all right.
So our timeline is obviously ASAP. We figured out we need a boat, right? So we've gone out, we've looked at different boats, we've seen different options, and we've really set our eyes on a specific boat that really fits our needs. Build time for that is roughly, they're saying, 8 to 9 months. So we're looking at a next season, really, unfortunately. There's some more equipment that we need to buy and purchase for the boat. And then, again, I talked about some docks and lift as well. And again, that's going to set us aside from anyone else because there's no boat that's on the lake 365 days a year. The city pulls their boat, Liverpool will pull their boat, so this is going to really set us up for success. And then obviously training on the boat. We can't just throw a boat in the water and expect people to know how to operate it and properly respond to emergencies.
And if you're available and you have that, that might free up some of these other agencies for their resources to do it. Okay.
Absolutely. So again, Long-term, we're looking to have the boat on the water 365 days a year. I keep harping on that because it really sets us apart from every other aspect, and really sets us up for protecting the public, protecting what Onondaga Lake is, and what's futuristically coming. We talked about putting in a swimming area. It's eventually down the road, so we'd really like to be ahead of the game when it comes to it versus behind. So we're trying to play catch up. And biggest thing is be ready in seconds matter. So.
And obviously, there might be another slide, but how much there it is?
So,
The big one.
yeah, the breakdown. So the vessel that we're looking at is 293,000. Some more equipment that we need to purchase to put on the boat with us. You know, stuff like AEDs, backboards, things like that for medical emergencies. The dock construction we estimate to be roughly 25,000. And then the boat lift, which is going to be a little bit more expensive because of the weight of the boat and being able to get it up out of the water.
Do you have dimensions of the boat? How long is it?
So this is
that a
actually
cuddy?
the replica that we're planning on purchasing.
Yeah, I'm old, I can't read those. 26?
Yeah, so it's a 26-foot boat. Yep.
Is that open bow, or is that,
So you can kind of see in the back is where the cab is, and then the front is all open, which is going to be great for us to allow working space. Biggest thing is having a cab as well with heat and AC. Obviously, emergencies happen all year, right? So ice, obviously we want to get the victim in where it's warm, start warming them while we're en route back to an ambulance or wherever needed.
What kind of motors are those?
So those are, it's going to be twin 150 Mercury.
Cruisers?
Yep. So we put 2 motors on it for redundancy. You know, we're out in the water and one of them breaks down. Luckily, we have something else to get us back to shore. So a lot of redundancy that we've built into this for our safety as well. So we're total project cost of $363. We were lucky enough to get the CREST grant, but unfortunately that's been like a 2-year process. So the price keeps escalating with the boat, with the yearly annual uptake. So we've kind of waiting on that still, but we're fortunate to get that. So we're looking for roughly 200,000.
Are you looking at anything else from the state or anything like that?
Not at the moment. Again, the check hasn't actually cashed from the CREST yet, so we're still waiting for that to deposit. We are looking at some other things as well, but
Can you tell me what the CREST grant is? I'm not,
so that was actually through Senator Mannion's office.
okay, so it's a federal grant?
Yes.
Because New York State Office of Parks and Recreation used to do grants for law enforcement marine patrols.
Okay.
So that just might be another avenue to look at for fire rescue as well.
Okay.
And would this boat be primarily used just on Onondaga Lake, or if there was a need for like other, a municipality emergency, taking it into Seneca or?
Yeah, so luckily Onondaga Lake is connected by Seneca River. So yeah, if we needed to go respond there, we 100% are willing to work with our neighbors and allow our neighbors to come work with us and hand in hand, right? Mutual aid is really important.
Yes. Okay. Questions?
What's up with the county's boat? County has a boat on the water?
Yeah, we have, so we do, but when you look at, I'll speak, I don't want to speak for the sheriff, but the waterways that we're responsible for are Oneida Lake, Onondaga Lake, Cross Lake, all the rivers in between. Then we have Janesville Reservoir, DeRidder Reservoir, Atisco Lake, and Skinny Atlas Lake. So they don't have the staffing or the boats. We keep one at Onondaga Lake Marina, but if one, or they used to, but if one's out on Oneida Lake or Skinny Atlas Lake, you're talking hours. I'll tell you from the law enforcement perspective, it's always the fire department that gets there first. Unless we just happen to be lucky and on the water where something happens. But we were always mutually dispatched if we were anywhere along the canal system, because we have to write a boat accident report or incident report. But it was always, back in the day, Liverpool Fire who got there first.
And that's why I asked, because it just makes a lot of sense. If your boat is there, then the other municipalities, if they have boats, makes it easier for them.
But a lot of times we get there faster by vehicle. We would dock our boat, jump in the car, and drive down in their boat.
Got it.
Because the canal system, you can't get through quickly from.
Well, and then you talked about year-round. Does it freeze over?
So Last year was like the first year in 5 years that we've actually seen it freeze over. Yeah, believe it or not. As far as thickness, it wasn't all that thick, but yeah, I mean, there is that potential. Again, that's why we want to get the lift to be able to get the boat up out of the water for that time.
Is that broke? Can that boat go through ice?
Certain depths, yeah. Yeah, it'll break ice.
But as you said, normally with Onondaga Lake, normally it doesn't.
Very seldom does it freeze. Last year we had that cold snap and it froze over, and we were able to do some awesome training on it, believe it or not, yeah. Yeah.
Because one of the things that you and we had talked about with the legislator, we did have a meeting last year where we're expanding the Onondaga Lake Park, that marina, but they also want to expand something near the amphitheater and the inner harbor. You and I have already talked about, when I'm there driving by, it seems like there's tournaments there almost every weekend, it seems, with the boats, and I've just never seen anything like
Yeah,
it.
all the time.
Out there now.
Was it 2 weeks ago? They had the speedboats ripping around the lake, which was really neat, but very dangerous.
Right,
Very
and
dangerous.
When we're finally able to swim there, who knows? All right, well,
I live to 100.
if there are no other questions, Ben,
Thank
we
you.
just want to thank you.
very
Wanted to
fun.
thank
Yeah,
you for coming.
thank you again. Thank you for your insight as well. That clears some things up too. So thank you again for all your time. I appreciate it.
As I said, we do have the funding request, so I'm going to email that over. If you see, John, were you able to print one out? Let him have? Okay, all right, so John will let you have one also. So thank you. We do appreciate it. And I've got a picture of you, so I'll send it over to you to prove you were here, okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
So, being said, everyone, moving on to the last item. Let's see, it's a discussion, review of the Justice Oversight Committee. We have a candidate application, Bonnie Gell Levy. If anyone's seen her resume, she's very accomplished. Anybody that knows her personally, she spent decades as a defense attorney, then she switched over to the New York State Attorney General's office for almost 20 years, and now she's in private practice. I think she'd be an asset joining the board, and just like to see if we can get an agreement to advance that. So does anyone have anything they'd like to ask or share about Bonnie before we take a vote?
Do you need a motion or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
All right, discussion? All right.
No, just great resume. Absolutely.
It was a really good resume. There's nothing to argue with.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, okay. This will carry, so, all right, we will carry. So, seeing as there is no other business, seeing as there no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn today's meeting? All right,
Second.
get a second, okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, all abstained. Okay, motion is carried. This meeting is adjourned until the next public safety meeting, August 18th at 11:30.
Perfect.
Okay, everyone, thank you. Ben?